And welcome back to the European Masters. We're getting ready to go into game number 5 of the day. They have been breezing by the last couple of days. It is going to be Illumina taking on Mouse. This is the Dark Region, or the Prime League, taking on the Ultraliga from Poland. So 2 pretty seasoned regions going toe-to-toe here. And, you know, a couple of seasoned players. I'm looking at you, leader.
Honestly, I'm going to go with Medic here. It's all or nothing for the Ultraliga today. They've lost 2 games in a row, both with Kick and with a Golrog, and Illumina is literally the only redemption arc that remains for today at least. They need to get a win in the bucket for them, and especially against Mousesports, this is going to be a tough task. Now, saying that, Illumina is coming in with a huge history. Right when EU Masters just rebranded, they managed to get top 2 instantly, only losing to Origin back then, and they have created so many big players: Humanoid, Woolite, Coolborn, Overpower, Kikis. They've all played in Illumina at some point. And let's not forget that Mouse's kryptonite are Polish teams, because twice they've been knocked out in playoffs in EU Masters by a Golrog.
There is so much history here. There is so much history here. And speaking of things that you historically don't want to see if you're on the side of the Ultraliga, is leader on Aurelia. That is going to be the first ban for them. We've actually cracked out quite a few bans. The Nocturne and the Carthus have come out from Illumina. The Tristana Seraphine coming out from Mouse, and they're looking for their final ban here. The question is what is it going to be? Maybe something like the Sudra or the Hecarim. We've seen kind of trade off of these 2 junglers quite a lot recently today, so we'll see what the final ban will be for Mouse. So they are running the timer down. It's going to be the Fresh, actually.
All the junglers are open and up for taking. Udyr, Hecarim, Lilia, Taric, not a jungler, but whatever. So yeah, everything is up for grabs. Whatever Papatabachi wants to run with or chooses to run with. I'd like this lock-in, but they're trolling me, so Udyr is.
I think that makes most sense. And you kind of expect Pride Stalker to pick up the Hecarim here as the response pick. It's speedy, tanky jungler, but runs into you with CC. That's basically the jungle meta.
Actually depends. Pride Stalker has played the Carthus, he's played the Echo, and technically, typically you see the leader running in with AD champions in the mid lane. He's played the Lucian, he's played the Zed, he's played the band Tristana, Nocturne, and Irelia. So seeing the Lilia right here, it sort of gives me an inkling that we might see the Lucian coming in the mid lane for leader.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about the Lilia. It's been a little while. I mean, she's seen play today, but in my head, it's just kind of one of those challenges that kind of flies over my head every now and then, but does have very fast wave clear, jungle clear, sorry, not wave clear. So we're heading over to the side of Illumina now. What are they going to look to pick up as their bot lane? Looks like it is just going to be the Senna. Tahm Kench is open, so they could just send a Tahm Kench here, get himself a nice safe bot lane, but kind of, you know, scale up for them into the later stages of this game. See what they decide to go for here.
One criticism we had for Illumina is that they're chilling too much in the early game. Now the Senna Tahm Kench lane is a pretty much chill back, relax, rinse 200 stacks, rinse, repeat, and then fight. So I'm hoping that their B4 and B5 are going to be much stronger picks that the Udyr can play around, something maybe like a Syndra, like an Orianna, something that has set up for him. Now here, I would be surprised if I didn't see leaders Lucian coming in. The Yone is also a possibility. I'm almost like 95% stuck on the fact that leader is gonna go for that AD champion in the mid lane. You see, oh god, he already has the teleport and the ignite here, Frank.
Oh,
These
boy,
are Akali summoners. These are Akali summoners typically. It could be Lucian or Yone as well.
True. I feel like Akali's so good at the moment. It got a couple of buffs. So I feel like if you're going to be banning it, you might as well ban it now. Yeah. I mean, if this is your only opportunity too, but I feel like Illumina are probably going to want to look to ban that away. We know it's a champion in leader's wheelhouse. We know it's very strong and very impactful at the moment. So kind of expect to see it rear its head here, but for now, Mouse is just going to take away the Sion from the top lane. And there goes the Yone. So one of those mid laners has been denied. I'm kind of expecting to see the second ban be the Akali. So what are Mouse going to ban as their next pickup here?
It could be the Na. It could be the Gangplank that Melanic previously played in the top lane. So anything teamfighty, anything that scales into the late game, anything that can provide some sort of engage, we could potentially be seeing out the picture. I wouldn't be surprised to potentially see a mid lane ban here as well. There you go for Chaya. His Zoe. It's extremely strong and it's one of the unique picks. They don't share that pool with leader. And here, if we see the Lucian ban, it pushes Leader to his last AD pick, which is Vayne in the mid lane. That's the only other AD pick that he's pulled out in the Prime League.
Do you think the Vayne's gonna rear his head? The Renekton's gonna get banned away.
Lucian's still up. Lucian's still up and available.
So's Akali. Question is are they gonna pick their top laner here and give counter pick to Leader, or are they gonna look to just blind pick something comfortable mid lane? I mean, we did see Leader in their one game actually not play like a Leader quote unquote champion. Actually played the Victor, but no, we're going back to Leader champions. It's the Akali, baby.
All right, well, these were Akali summoners, right? The teleport and the ignite. I bet a lot of people have suffered to that in solo queue. It's not just solo queue, it's mid lane as well. Somebody as proficient as Leader on a champion like this will never get caught, with his hand in the cookie jar, so he doesn't necessarily need the flash. But then again, we said it, the Gnar is gonna go onto the other side, something that can provide engage, something that doesn't very easily get counted up the top lane, something where the Udyr can choose to play from. Now, I'm not a massive fan of this. I'm not going to sit too much onto the casting. I'm not a massive fan of that. I need something that the Udyr can play through. Give me the Syndra. It does pretty well into the Akali as well. A lot of pressure early game. The Orianna, something that sets up for Udyr. Get pressure in the mid lane and sort of having a lot of impact on the map.
Yeah, I think the Orianna's a nice pickup here, because if you do go for something like Kassadin, you are pretty heavily invested in the late game with the fact you've got a Senate and a Kassadin. So the Orianna buys you a bit more space, is good in the team fighting, can play around the team as well very well. So I like that lock-in. And the final pick here for Sartorius is going to be the Sett. So team comps are now locked in. Trouble, what are we kind of looking at for both of these teams? What are their kind of win cons, and what's the kind of like first 15 minutes of the game going to be looking like?
I love Mouse's composition here. I'm just going to be completely honest. They're literally just all in. They see champion, they like champion, they want champion, they kill champion. This is it. They're going to be going all in. Access in the backline, very easy with the Sett flying through the front, with a lullaby from the Lille coming in. Obviously, Lita on the Akali is going to have massive access in the backline. And then Kai'Sa and Rakan is just very easy to fly towards there and try to get Audit, try to get Chayek. And there's only one Devour. And the taunt can hit multiple people, the sleep can hit multiple people, the assassination can hit multiple people. So Tipster is going to have to pick and choose, I will say, which one of his carries wants to save the most.
You do have things like the Gnar to also buy space. If people do start coming in, just yeet them backwards and make sure they can't blow up your team. So, we've seen teams fall to the Gnar flanks. We've seen the Gnar actually have quite a lot of impact in the first couple of days here in the group stages. It's been a relevant top laner for pretty much most of this season, so I think by now most of us are bored of it. We know what it does. But we are heading on to the Rift for our 5th game of the day. Leader getting his hands on to that Akali champion we know and love for him. Akali did see a few changes, Trouble. I'm sure you would love to enlighten us on those, though.
Basically, a lot of her changes rely around her being a full AP scaling champion. I think she took a really huge hit when the Gunblade sort of disappeared and she had a lot of AD and AP scenarios in her damage abilities. But now it's just mostly fully AP. First of all, let's just say the bad news, which is her taking a huge hit when it comes to laning phase. Her Q costs a lot more energy to be cast, and also it no longer deals 25% bonus magic damage to the minions, which is a huge hit to her wave clear and a huge hit to her laning phase. But hear me out. Her E has a lot more AP percentage scaling. Her R, the first dash, is now completely magic damage, which means that their AP items are going to hit that much harder when you're going in for the execute. Plus, now it has a 30% AP ratio on it that wasn't there before. So yes, she might struggle in the laning phase. She always has. Every melee assassin will versus Reigns. But later on, you saw it on 2 hours as well. The execution is just chef's
Have a look at your mini-map, though. Leader actually moving up to the top lane on this Akali. We know and trust Leader can pilot this champion. This suits his playstyle. He's got a lot of experience on Akali, especially at the European Masters. Leader has played a fair few of them, and his region has played a fair few of them and done pretty well. Both the Ultraliga from Poland and the Prime League, the Dark League, have played a fair amount of times here at the European Masters with pretty good success. If we actually take a look over at the top 4 finishes. These are 4 teams, 3 regions that have had a fair amount of appearances at the European Masters, and these are their top 4 European finishes. So there's been 7 times a Prime League team has made top 4. 5 times for the Superliga, that's Spain, and the Ultraliga have done 4, and that's been more recently for Poland. They've had a real resurgence in the last couple of years.
Hey, it seems like the DACH region is obviously the dominant one right here, as botlane keeps trading back and forth.
A lot of damage coming out, but the Senna will lock down Mouse and stop Gadget and Enjoy from going anymore.
So, first of all, let's talk a little bit about the swap, because it's extremely interesting. Any melee champion versus the Na is going to suffer, but a lot of champions that have invisibilities, such as the Wukong that we've previously talked about, and now with the Akali having the Shroud, usually do pretty well trading onto the Na. So Lida is going to have a much easier time farming on the top side. Set, we all know, he's going to go tanky. He has the shield to reach the back line. He's going to be fine whether he plays against Na or he plays against the Orianna. At this point, it's all about getting Lida onto his item power spike and then getting him into the fight. Because as you see in the top lane, he's not struggling at all. Set is even on CS. Lida is even on CS onto the Na. So this is what Mouse need. They need their lanes to be even and then get Lida very healthy into a fight.
Well, for now, as we actually take a look at the current state of the game, junglers are just going to trade out the crabs, but Papadabachi maybe looking to come in here in the bot lane. He's got the bear stance charged up, but Mouse are just going to back off. This will cost them a plate and this wave, but trading has been too impactful for them, and actually they are going to make their way over to try and catch this wave. The wave has been finned, so tower dive realistically not going to be coming through, but Gadget taking a lot of damage from Odie and Chipsy.
Yeah, and the good thing right there for Papadabachi is that Pride Stalker had already backed, which means that he wouldn't have access for an invade, seeing that the Udyr is down bot trying to dive his bot lane. So that was pretty good timing right there from Papadabachi, trying to get as many resources away from Gadget right there onto the Kai'Sa, who's a very short range ADC, but now Lida is in a lot of trouble.
You remember, this is a flashless Akali instantly into the Shroud. Teleports are coming out. Lida not going to commit for anything else as Sartorius just teleports in, flashes the Penguin, and he's out of there.
This is fine, right? Lida doesn't lose a flash because he doesn't have one, but Udyr does, and then Chayek had to pull his teleport as well, which is extremely crucial. That means that it's all even after all, and now Mouse are ahead because Papadabachi is not going to have the pressure he did before. Yes, he can run at you, but he no longer has the flash to threaten you, and Lida is gone on the offense.
Yeah, it does lose a lot of health to that minion wave, as Pride Stalker's made his way and not got that level 6 yet, as the flash face breaker doesn't quite hit. Swirl Seed will slow Chayek down, but Chayek able to make his way out from that. As Pride Stalker did take the opportunity from all that top lane action to invade and steal a chicken camp, although Papadabachi also looking to see if he can find some kind of an invade into Pride Stalker. Not going to be able to find it though.
He's still going about, playing towards the top side around Chayek. Chayek, you see that he's sort of starting to run out of mana. This is why Papadabachi is staying around, trying to make sure that his mid laner manages to push the wave. A little chomp right there onto Tips' ADC. Overall, it's a very slow-paced game. Saying that though, Papadabachi might have his chance for a kill here.
Yeah, that's the flash from the Rakan. You're on the wrong side of the map, pal. Can make a grand entrance over the wall. Papadabachi, remember, doesn't have the flash, so there's a blast cone and Enjoy actually just out of there.
Okay.
Lovely.
Yeah, just Rakan things. Easy peasy. And grabs the mango from the river as well. He's going to be extremely healthy. So, again, the rhythm has sort of slowed down. None of these teams really want to do anything that early. Remember, you don't have your Akali mid lane. Lida had just used his TP. Yes, he's level 6, but he's not going to be able to join. So you need to take it slow if your Mouse sports.
Do keep in mind, though, Odie actually ignited. They're bringing Pride Stalker in. He's so low. One more Void Stack could do it. As here comes Papadabachi. So much health bars are going low, and it's going to be the kill. Chipsky able to get that one. Nice and easy. Gadget goes down.
The gobble was so detrimental from Tipsy to try and get his AD out, and now, oh my god.
He's having a lick, he's having a lick. One more tongue lash. Chipsy's going to find this kill. Actually giving it over to Papadabachi as he tanks that tower for his jungle. That was close.
That is huge. Pride Stalker is coming down. He has no backup. I don't think he can do anything going in there.
He's got the Lilting Lullaby. Everyone's going for a nap here. He just slides in, secures himself the kill. Another Swirl Seed connects onto Odie, and now Odie slowed down and just running so low. Pride Stalker, one more auto attack as he falls on the tail end. Little bit too greedy by Pride Stalker.
Oh my god, it's a trade, it's a back and forth, it's a fight. We have 5 kills in 7 minutes, and if we see this again, Engwave is sitting on a ward. He thinks he's safe. He's like, this is the time. And it would be. It was one auto off of Audi dying. The Kai'Sa passive proc off of Audi dying, but the Gobble is right on time. And of course, Papadabachi is right there to defend his bot lane. And Engwave is just walking a little bit too far forward for his own liking, gets licked in the face, and the Papadabachi is just going to claim yet another one. Luckily enough for Pride Stalker, he had just hit level 6, as you can see. Because Papadabachi was too busy ganking, Pride Stalker managed to grab more CS, get that level 6, which seemed to be extremely useful in him managing to grab 2 kills. Second one didn't end so well because he ended up trading, but overall, this is huge from Illumina, because if you see in the gold lead, they are, I think, about 2,000 gold ahead at this point, which is massive.
Yeah, it's a really big lead, and I'd actually like to have a quick toggle of the gold in between and see who's kind of got the gold where, because Gadget actually struggling in this lane as far as the farm goes. He is down to the Tahm Kench right now. He's actually down to Odie, who isn't farming.
That is a big feels bad, man, because if you're looking at someone diving the backline with you, if you're leader, it is going to be Gadget onto that Kai'Sa. You want him to have, you know, the more aggressive build, having the Gale Force right there together with the Collector, assassinating the backline. If you're forced into a situation where you have to play that back and forth, it's not going to be as fun, right? Because leader's going to be diving the backline. It's going to be extremely alone, and that could cause a lot of trouble with the composition that you're running.
Just getting a nice little bit of trading to Sartorius here. But so far, we're 9 minutes into the game. No dragons have been picked up, no Rift Heralds have been picked up. Neither team really taking the opportunities to get that. Especially when Illumina are the ones who've had pretty much constant pressure in this bot side. But Lonic gonna get put to sleep by the Lilting Lullaby, and Leader just gonna slide in forwards with that perfect execution to secure himself the kill and just slide straight back out.
Very beautiful, and they also knew that Papadabachi was in the river. They played this on the timing, that like, he was sitting on a ward this whole time. He cleared it, he put his own pink down. They knew that the audio was there, so he played on the timing before he managed to get to that top side. Leader managed to get his first kill of this game, and this is going to be extremely crucial, because once the Akali starts snowballing, it's going to be really bad news for the rest of the map for Illumina. Nevertheless, though, it's going to be a kill traded for an objective. At this point, it's a pretty good time to sneak in the Rift Herald, because you're not losing anything on your lane. Top is pushed, bot is pushed, your mid lane is backing, so it is also pushed, and obviously Pride Stalker is going to know this and try to trade it for a dragon.
So first objective will get picked up here. I'd like to take stock of items right now and just see where we are in that area. Gadget, Longsword, Cole, Doran's. Odie has got the Noon Quiver, got almost all of the components, actually all of the components for the Kraken Slayer. So closing in on that as Chipsky actually the first player in this team, or in this game actually, to finish off their mythic item, the Frozen Fist.
Support's OP, yeah.
Support is fed.
Actually, it's always been support diff, Heatbrain. It's never been jungle diff.
It's always been jungle diff. Don't ever forget it. Don't ever forget it.
All right, so the thing here is that because Orianna now has her 2 mana items, it is very easy for Chayek to push that mid lane and try to get some pressure onto the map. You saw that he pushed back Sartorius and then instantly started making his way top. There's a lot of pressure coming in from Elonic as well. So that is really nice to see from Illumina. They're using their items that they have right now to pressure the lanes. And if this freezes where it is right now from Elonic, Leader going back to that lane would be a problem. This is why you see the swap right now, because Sartorius is not going to have as much of an issue going up to the top where the wave is pressured right now. Pride Stalker is also there to shadow. What they don't know is that Chayek is creeping around as well.
So we can see now Leader has finished up his Night Harvester. So has finished up his Mythic. So probably in a bit more of a comfortable position to deal with this Orianna lane now. But There's a full item finished up. Chayek obviously opting in for the tier 2 boots. Once that CDR you can pick up there. There's a Bright Stalker may look for something here onto Melonic.
He's turning Megana pretty soon.
Oh, they clipped him with the sleep. They can actually get him underneath the tower. They have to flash away. The Lilting Lullaby's coming in as he jumps away to safety. Bright Stalker's tanking tower and has to go golden as Sartorius has to jump back in. He's going to find the kill as the Triumph heals him up. Playing that by the skin of their teeth. Mouse find the kill in the top lane.
So messy. That went wrong in so many different ways that I have no idea. Bright Stalker and Sartorius are lucky to have flashes right there. Lucky to have a stop. Oh my god, that was crazy. Meanwhile, in the bot side, the Senna Tahm cancelling has been so oppressive. 20 CS ahead right now, the Tahm off of Gadget. And I'm saying the Tamkins because he is the one farming. They're gonna also pop the Rift Herald down the mid lane and get pressure over there. And this is such great movement. Oh,
Shockwave lands on 2. They get the railgun for the shield for the moment as Leader slides back in. The Ignite is down and Leader gets the kill. Charge is gonna get used. So a very low mid lane turret, but Mouse do answer out of a kill in the mid lane.
Oh, Chayek tried to greedily to try and get the charge money off of the Rift Herald, but ended up paying with his life. Giving kills over to Lida is never a good idea. What is the saving grace right now, though, for Illumina is that the kills are both on AP damage dealers. You see the mercs are slowly but surely starting to come through. Melonic has it on the top side, Uri in the jungle as well. These are the guys that are going to be building tanky-ish too. And when you have only one type of damage coming through, it's much easier to itemize against. Gadget is gonna take a little bit more to get there to be considered a threat since he was choked out so hard in his lane. But you see Chayek, he's like staying around, trying to cash in. He doesn't cash in anyway and ends up losing his life to a very fed Akali, even more fed after that kill.
Yeah, making moves to set Leader up to be that carry. Still having problems for Gadget, who's only just about to...
He just can't cut a break.
He's not even hit the 100 CS mark. He's so close to it, but he can't even get there. Now, Enjoywave does find out Papa Dabachi, jumps in, gets him with the Grand Entrance, is not going to find the face breaker onto the Udyr.
They have to commit 4 players around Gadget. They cannot leave him in lane. The fact that the Senna Tahm can so easily dive him is such a huge threat. And when he's already been deprived of so much CS that far into the game, you need to make sure that he actually starts cashing in some, because if you look on the side of Illumina, they have the first mythic in the jungle, they have the 2 mythics down the bottom as well. The Senna that hasn't been CSing has a Kraken over Gadget not having his first mythic item. So that is a big problem in the next fight to come, because in 30 seconds, Mouse are gonna want to fight for that dragon. And as you can see, Gadget left the base right now, still no mythic item completed.
Question to me is, are Mouse gonna give it up? They did get that first dragon. It's not the end of the world. It'll only be the first one for Illumina. If they want to buy some space and some time, it is always an option to them. They've sent Leader off to the top lane. He does have teleport, so he can make his way down, but it looks like they are just going to look to catch waves and buy some time for themselves.
You should definitely not fight that. Everfrost has been completed on Chayek as well. He's literally playing crowd control central on that Orianna. He doesn't care too much about doing that extra damage as long as he gets to peel and survive the backline dive and keep them down in place.
He has been locked down by that Everfrost as he's actually just going to get gobbled up by Chipsky. Does have the ultimate to buy himself a bit of space, but he is just taken out by the Senna. Odie comes in and secures the kill.
Everything goes Illumina's way so far. 2,000 gold in the lead. They've got their first dragon in the game as well. They're going to start stacking them up. And this Senna is getting more and more fed by the second. They do have the scaling when we go further into the late game, because technically, Senna never stops scaling. At some point, Kai'Sa will have full items, but Senna with souls is just a never-ending story of scaling. Orianna uber scales as well in the mid lane, and when the defensive items are going to start coming in, like the Sterex for the Gnar and the Hourglass for Orianna, the backline dying for Lida, that threat that we're looking for will no longer be there.
And like you were saying at the beginning of this game, this is a must-win for Illumina, or at least for the Ultra Liga. I mean, Illumina are 0-1. They want to find a win. They need to find a win. But as a region, haven't been able to find a single win today. So a win here restores a bit of pride for them.
Yeah, they lost against a Prime League team before as well today. The Ultra Liga is technically 0-1 against the Prime League, so that would be redemption for the Ultra Liga, going 1-1 on the day.
Also technically keeps things a little bit more competitive over in Group C. Yeah. So far, we've only seen one game out of all of the Group C teams. This is their second showing. Starting up today. After this, we do have UKM versus Matchco. So keeps this group competitive, really, for Group C. So Luminar in the driving seat at the moment. He got himself a 3,000 gold lead. He got the Rage Knife on the Senna along with the Kraken Slayer. So really nice item pickup here for him as Gadget has just finished up his own Kraken Slayer.
I wonder. He wants to play the front to back. He wants to fight the Udyr and the Na and the Tamkens. This is a tank, anti-tank build coming in from Kai'Sa. And it makes me a little bit scared because I would have liked to see here the Gale Force diving into the backline. Now, I don't know, of course, how much assassination potential you have because you have fallen behind. And when you have the Gale Force early on, you are a big threat. At this point, you're just waiting to basically scale as a Kai'Sa. So a Gale Force would have been a little bit int, but that's what I would personally like to see, dive in the backline together with Lida, which makes Lida dive in the backline on his own much less, again, of a threat. So that Akali backline dive, this is going to be very difficult. They're putting, again, so many resources up, taking every single outer tower. The Rift is going to be popped as well. It goes everything. Wherever Audi is the rest of the team as well.
Sartorius forced to flash as well. As the charge comes out, it's a little bit too late. So this Richard will secure its own health bar for now, but it will just take a couple of members to deal with it. They are just going to drive straight in onto Pabadabachi. He takes so much damage, but Gadget misses out on the W, and Lilting Lullaby is going to hit. That is one sleepy Udyr who wakes up and just runs to safety.
One flash right there.
Oh, hello. Lida getting a little hypey down here.
I don't think Chayak wants to take this chance here. Lida has his Ignite up and available as well. I don't think he ever wants to go into the 1v1 with a Harvester Akali. So just take it slow, keep farming. You see that in the mid lane. There is ACS difference. Top lane has been equalized. In the jungle, Pride Stalker, yes, he's found a lot more success. Whilst he's also found a lot more success ganking. If you see every single initiative that comes out of Mouse, it has been Pride Stalker starting the fight. He has 4 out of 5 kill participation in this one. Whilst on the other hand, you see that a lot of solo kills have happened. See that the Senna has more kill participation than her jungler, Udyr, which is something you don't see very often as a fasting Senna.
It's the global ulti. That's what it is.
It has been the bot lane fiesta, Hebron, and you know that.
I know that. It's actually been with 20 minutes in, it's been a somewhat low action game compared to some of the games we've had recently. I mean, the tail end of yesterday was amazing. So many upsets, and Luminar and Mouse has been a lot more relaxed so far. As I would like to actually take a quick stock of OD's souls to see where we're at so far on the Senna.
88.
We can get that 88. So it's 140 where Senna gets the same range as a tower. And then it's 160 where you actually have more range on a tower. So it's really rough as Angel Wave is kind of caught out on all fronts. Does use the charm to jump away to safety. Sartorius Stride Breaker's out as now Lida's looking to try and make his way in. The slam comes down. Lida slides in with the perfect execution as the railgun gets fired off by OD. And it looks like Mouse are trying to make their way forward as Lida just gets locked down. Has to use that stopwatch. It's already been 1 kill for Gadget. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Mouse.
Yeah, ended up being a 2-for-2. Oh, it's a 2-for-1. He never died. You're right, Hebron. You're right. This was a fight that they did not want to take for Illumina. I mean, you have the item advantage right here. Just choke them down with vision and go for your dragon. Now you're being forced away. Pabadabachi has to actually run in and they're not going to let him. He doesn't have flash.
And this will be the second dragon for Mouse now. Cloud Soul, actually really nice for this Mouse roster. Once you pop that perfect execution on Lida, can reposition around the fight with the extra movement speed and then ping straight back out or in for the execute as well. Got a lot of extra movement speed as Let's have a look at the replay once again.
I'm loving this fight again because Endwave gets taken out of the fight instantly. That means the Rakan backline taunt does not exist. This is basically a 4v5. Beautiful set ult onto taking the Minina into the fight. And from there on out, look where Tipset is. He's all the way onto the front. That means that Oddie has no protection into the backline. You take the protection away from the Senna. That means the Senna cannot play the game. Really well played from the side of Mouse to find this pick.
So a bit of a battle of vision here between the two supports. I say supports. It's the Tahm Kenshi's farming, so a bit different. But 22 minutes onto the clock. Gold lead still in Illuminar's favor. It's nothing detrimental. It's nothing, you know, that will mean this game feels doomed by any means. We just saw an incredible team fight by Mouse, turning that into the Dragon. But like you were saying earlier, you got great scaling with this Orianna and then the infinite scaling, theoretically, from that Senna. Does feel like it could get a little bit harder. Zodi's got himself the Zeal in the inventory, so building towards that Rage Blade. Could also be the Rapid Fire Cannon. We've seen a couple of Sennas pick up the Rapid Fire Cannon second and just sit on the Rage Knife for the passive stats.
The thing that's going on for Mouse that Illumina could never have is the skill check leader onto Akali, right? Was that it? Okay, that looked like a flash on my screen. So Lida was so detrimental in the previous fight that we saw, and now he has the Hourglass as well. He needs to join them because there is no TP. He instantly starts moving up the river. Surely not. Oh, this is going down really fast.
It's a Kraken Slayer center. It's going down very, very quick. Looks like they've been spooked a little bit here. So W is going to get used to slamming everybody in. They've got that lilting lullaby to fire off as well by Pridestalker. He has used it as here comes Endwave. Gadget slides straight onto the backline, but Leader is onto the flank. Shockwave goes wide. Endwave will lose his life, and Leader is just piecing straight out of there. Illuminar get himself a kill on to Mouse's support, and it's straight back to Baron for them.
Oh, he had to walk all the way from the bot side of the river, and he just couldn't get in flank position that quickly. He has his second chance right now. Illumina with the same plan. Pridestalker?
They don't have the ultis. That's their problem. They're only working with Leader, but I think it's just a little bit too scary. It's a little bit too early.
That's enough here, Brain. If you're just working with Leader, I think that's enough.
They're going to back off from now as Leader just going to continue to catch this wave in the mid side.
That was extremely dangerous. I feel like Illumina were trying to play the back and forth right there, but the set game from the top side, Leader was trying to find a flank, and then they just couldn't actually execute the fight however they wanted to. Sartorius, of course, was way too far in, and Swade had to go in and support. And as you can see, Gadget had to piece out of the fight because of the flash. Leader couldn't be on the flank at the time that he wanted, so he had to get out. It was really, really hard for Mouse to execute, and this is how their fights will be, right? They will be harder to execute, but once they do get where they want to be with their flanks, with how they assassinate the backline, this is where the magic happens. Mouse has a skill check composition, whilst Illumina have the textbook teamfight comp that you want to have for the late game.
There was an attempt in the bot lane to try and find a kill onto Melanic, but not going to find it, unfortunately, for the side of Mouse. Luckily for Melanic, he's able to buy a bit of space as Kapadabachi contesting this crab, and this actually just gives Mouse a little bit of permanent vision in the area.
Yeah, no more Baron shenanigans right there. Not before they're ready. At least now you've got 2 items onto Gadget to sort of mirror Oddie's 2 items. But again, Oddie's is going to be getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So Gadget is technically never going to keep up with the scaling of the Senna. From here on out, he's going to be permanently behind. So it is going to be all up to Pridestalker, all up to Leader to find those picks, to find those ultimates, to assassinate the backline. They caught Tipset in the front line in the fight that they won in the bot side of the map. Now you need to do the same. You take the Protector away from the Senna, Oddie has to step out.
And Oddie now have 110 souls in the in his pocket. Finished
Very
up
close.
that rapid fire cannon second, so this is I will auto attack you off screen, Senna, at this point. They're going to try and catch this mid wave, but Dragon spawning up in 8 seconds. This is the Cloud Soul. I talked about how the Mouse team do really use this Cloud Soul well. Remember, also, Udyr champion, but really likes the Cloud Drakes. It reduces his global cooldown.
Oh, Sartorius had a flash.
Super big, but yeah, like you said, Sartorius flashing off in the mid lane. We didn't quite see what was going on there, but Illumina are going to start up this Dragon. They're actually just bullying Mouse out, although Engine Wave on the flank, he does have that quickness and the flash available to him. can close the gap if he needs to, and Sartorius is
no.
low.
No
Uses
flash.
the shield as he comes in for the slam. He dies before he even makes his way back down. Luminar just found a kill onto the top laner like it's nothing, and it might not even be interested in the dragon. It was just a bait.
Actually, they can push mid lane and possibly look for the Baron again. This is completely open down mid lane that will get all the vision in the quadrants of Pride Stalker's jungle. And this is pretty much an invitation to keep pushing, because if someone had been threatening was Sartorius, now they see the leader down bot and they're like, this is a 3v5. Easy inhibitor.
I don't think Leader expected this to happen, as that's so much damage into Engine Wave. Odie's starting to hurt. They're going to use the Tahm Kench ult just to head towards the dragon. Illuminar get an inhibitor for free.
Honestly,
get out of there.
I love the proactivity coming in from Illumina. They catch Sartorius. They literally chased him down with the Senna in the middle. It was a 2 versus 1. Sartorius blocks his flash, and when he tries to come in for the flank, they single him out, they kill him, and they're like, listen, we don't necessarily need this dragon. We're just gonna push down mid. They see Leader in the bot lane as well, so they're like, this is our chance. And here it is against Sartorius. No flash. Gets caught up by Odie and tips it. Everyone jumps him, and look at that. Melanic is just about to mega now as well. This fight is giga doomed. If Mouse want to take it, it would be an insta loss. And then Illumina take the numbers down mid lane. They open the inhibitor, and that will give them so much freedom when it comes to the vision game, because Mouse is gonna have to be so extra careful with every single step they take down this mid lane.
It's just so much damage from Odie. And it's just, the Sartorius has some armor, but it hasn't really got the armor to deal with how fed Odie is right now.
Support Senna, by the way.
Support Senna. It's still technically AD carry Senna. It's just you don't farm.
Listen, I see support item, I call it a support hit ring. Oh,
Is that how you define a support?
that
It's
is
like
no.
Mouse were thinking about it, but with Odie in the area and Illuminar spotting them out, it's just way too risky. Melanic had teleport as well, so was able to cover the bot side and also be a threat for the side of Illuminar to work with.
You can technically sneak it, but you would definitely need Leader there. You can't have him coming in late to a fight. You've seen that on the fight in the bot lane when he came in after the teleport. He had the perfect positioning because he TP'd a little bit further from the fight. So you definitely need him to have the perfect flank for it to work. You can't just force fights upon it. And also, if you look like at item checks, you've got 2 in the top, you've got 2.5 in the jungle, you've got 3 completed in the mid lane, 3 for Senna right now, which is massive. And also Tahm Kench's very close to his 3rd item. These are items you can't necessarily pierce through yet. It's only Leader that has a lead in the mid lane when it comes to being even in items.
So what do you think Mouse's win conditions are right now? Because it feels like Illuminar, it's they've got the control they need, and you know they kind of feel like they have all the time in the world if they want. What does Mouse need to do?
Honestly, if you take it front to back, Illumina should never lose a fight. They've got the best tools to peel, to deal damage, and to keep Mouse at arm's length. Now you have something, if you're with Mouse Force, that's called Leader, the ultimate assassin player when it comes to these European masters, right, in the mid lane. He is the king of the assassins, and he has in his hands a very powerful one in the likes of Akali. He's got 3 items on it. So if you allow him, if you build space for him to create his magic, Sartorius can have a flank together with him. If Gadget dies the backline, if Pride Stalker gets a sick ultimate, yes, but that's a lot of ifs, Heatbrain. It's just really hard to execute, and you have to always have the correct angle. Else Illumina are just going to run away with it because it's just so much easier for them to play the game.
And you're also seeing that Illuminar, they're kind of covering all their bases. They're not giving that opportunities. We look around this Baron area and you look at the kind of vision control they're working with. They are being very, very on it with a ward clearing. I say that as there's actually a couple of wards for Leader to teleport to now on the flank. So there is the opportunity for him to find those opportunities to come in onto the side. Sartorius is trying to make his way over. Luminar, they're not taking the risk there. They're going to teleport their Gnar in. Leader waiting off in the wings. Going to clear out the wave and then look to teleport forwards.
Oh,
but there are still
wants to be there.
wards.
He wants the Mega Gnar. He's very close. This is why he's there beforehand.
They're going to jump onto Sartorius. Actually just go straight into the Gnar back as Abadabachi is going to get turned on to. They get a 2-man face breaker off as here comes the shield from the Dawning Shadow from Odie. They force Sartorius' R. but they do force Melonic's flash as well.
That is a Gnar down, which is not a big ultimate, so he will be up next time he goes Mega Gnar. That is Senna ultimate down, so you can't necessarily keep fighting if you're Illumina. And again, these guys take it slow and steady. Oh, and that's Shockwave as well. This pretty much seals the deal, right? This could give a lot of pressure now over to Mouse, because they can move very freely, especially now that the Shockwave is down. This is such a huge tool to make you step forward if you mouse board. Shockwave down, instantly they move into the jungle because that threat is no longer there, and I have to give major props to Leader. His hand not pressing teleport right there and being so incredibly patient with it burnt the teleport from Melonik, which means that he doesn't have it, and now Leader gets to split for free.
One thing to note is that Shockwave's on a very short cooldown, as the Glacial Augment Slow is going to actually lock Sartorius down momentarily, as Enjoy's taking a lot of damage. Has to use the quickness already, as he is on the run. No Dawning Shadow to follow up for the kill onto Enjoy, but they do find the kill onto Sartorius, and that's him down for 42 seconds. Luminar not really fussed about this dragon. It's all about Baron for them. That's where they've set their vision up. That's where they're looking to contest.
And we mentioned how important it's going to be Sartorius in all those if scenarios and situations that Mouse win a fight. Now they're going to have to go for it. You're going to have to steal it away, because all this range with the Baron buff, they're going to take your entire base, Mouse.
Pridestalker's got 2 levels. He's going to flash in, and he steals the Baron. Pridestalker, you hero!
That was absolutely massive from Mouse. That's exactly what they needed. We literally mentioned, if this Baron goes to Illumina, with all the range they have, with all the pressure they're gonna create on the map, Mouse is never gonna leave their base until their Nexus is dead. And Pridestalker slaps a huge post-it with a no onto Papadabachi's face, steals the Baron, being the hero of the series. Yes, Soul Point, but Mouse can take a breath of fresh air, at least for the time being. And again, Sartorius, he's been the punching bag the entire game. He's the only one that doesn't necessarily have any gap closing. He doesn't have any evading ability, so he ends up being bullied the entire game. They see champion, they kill champion, especially with all the range from the Senna. So with this going down again, we said they have to fight this. They have to somehow get inside the pit, and still Pridestalker so patient. He sees the HP going down. Oh my god. That was beautiful. That was both
perfectly timed.
Wait, he didn't smite.
Did he not smite?
No, he stole it with the Q.
Okay, that's even more cool. What a Chad.
Thanks for the leash, Papadabachi and team.
Long range Swell Seed, just going to hit onto the minions. Now, 3 minutes and 50 seconds until that Cloud Soul comes up. It's nice for Illumina. I don't really think it's game-changing. It's not like the Ocean Soul in the last game, which was super, super important for what everything can get their hands onto it. Sure, Mouse do use the Cloud Soul really, really well. But I don't think if Illumina pick it up, it really is game-changing. The worry right now, and the game-changing thing right now, was that Baron steal, because Leader's up in the side lane, 2 cannon minions just cracking away at this tower.
If we're gonna talk complete soul talk right here, I'll say it's very worth it for Illumina, because it's been Oddie running people down every time. He sees someone randomly in the mid lane, he's just gonna chase them down with the auto attacks. And it's just so important having that extra movement speed, I believe, that it's gonna be huge for Oddie to continue to slam that auto down. And he has 154 souls, 6 away hit burn, and he's literally going to be a beast. He's going to be attacking people from his own fountain. Now, this Baron, don't get me wrong, it wasn't necessarily game-changing for Mouse. It just dissuaded a little bit of the pressure that was put onto them. It allowed Leader a little bit more farming on the side lane. But that's about it. You need to figure out a way that you're going to fight around these objectives. The next one is going to be Soul, coming up in 2 minutes 30. Then it's going to be Baron again. Unfortunately, we've mentioned it over and over again. This meta, it's all about team fighting. And Illumina have drafted a team for team fighting. And it's gone pretty well for them. Now, Mouse hasn't necessarily committed 100% in any 5v5 fights yet. And the one that they committed to in the bot lane, they actually won. But that was on their terms, right? So again, they have to find the angle. They have to fight the ifs if they want to win the fights to come.
And Odie just hit 160 souls.
Uh-oh.
So this is the point now where the range is horrible. There's no other word I could say for it. It is really, really oppressive at this point. He's going to eat a Void Seeker, but you got the shielding, you got the gobbling, and I really doubt Gadget is feeling it. Doesn't really want to slide into the face of 3 members of Illumina.
You want to know the sad thing, though? Gadget has been farming so much, he has a 600 gold bounty on him. Not that it matters too much at this point, because everyone's closing to the 4 item spike, but it just feels bad, man, to be completely deprived from playing the game this entire time. For 37 minutes, you haven't been allowed to press your buttons, and yet you are the most valuable member if you die. Your bounty is like off the roof.
He's worth 900 gold right now. As, they are actually going to look to try and find Engine Wave. He's going pretty low here. Shockwave clicks onto one. The Railgun doesn't quite do enough to get the kill, but Odie is just cutting through the health bars as Lida slides into the backline. Almost finds himself the assassination. Using that Shroud is going to ping back one more time with that perfect execution to get out. And Mouse lose their top laner yet again. But in comes Papadabachi, in comes Lida, he's sliding forward, actually gets himself the kill, and this is actually Mouse finding themselves the opening here. Chipsy's trying to get as much damage off as possible. This is a double kill for Gadget, and only 2 from Illuminar stand.
Lida and Gadget, oh my god, Gadget has come online. Welcome to the game, my dude. Now you're worth the 700 gold bounty onto your head. Lida with a sick flank. This dude pressed the ultimate and took 90% of the Senna's HP that Tipsy had to gobble him up instantly. And Engwave, again, together with Sartorius, they're gonna be the center of attention when it comes to who Illumina are gonna target first. So Engwave is out, Sartorius is out, and look at that. Lida damage is just insane that he jumps back to safety. And honestly, Illumina overextend here. They see Pride Stalker, they want Pride Stalker, they want him dead. He insta hourglasses, and that was such a beautiful re-engage coming in from the 2 carries from Mousesports. Gadget and Lida absolutely saved this fight. And we mentioned if the Tamkins dies, the Senna cannot play the game, or they had to insta back from that.
And during that replay, Mouse picked up their 3rd dragon. There's been 6 dragons in this game. The final one, whoever picks up this next dragon, it will be their soul. So both teams onto that soul point now. Baron is alive. Papadabachi, though, down 3 levels to Pride Stalker. Pride Stalker's level 18. He's full levels now. Although on the other side, you do have Chayek, who's level 18, and Melanic, so as far as the experience goes, Illumina are falling behind in the experience department.
They're going to slowly but surely hit that 16 level onto the Senna as well. I think this is going to be extremely important for them.
Papadabachi's found Lida, goes in for the stun, they've got the quickness, everybody's inside that chokehold as Odie untouched for the moment, shoots out a big railgun as the shockwave gets fired, as Sartorius will lose his life, he's the first victim of the fight. In comes Melanic, looking for that slam back onto Gadget, as Gadget gets his Guardian Angel popped. And this will be the end of the AD carry. It's a shutdown for Chayek.
Remember all the ifs that have to align, all the stars that have to be at the right place. Lida is looking at them. He's reading the horoscope for Odie right now, and it says it's about to be very green for you. He has the flank, 1 execution, 1 chance. Can he save the game?
As Eminem said, 1 chance, 1 opportunity. Spaghetti something.
Where's Eminem
and Lida's
now?
coming in already. 1 tower's gone down. Lida slides into the backline, gets caught out by the shockwave. The hit, the shield is on. Slides try back forward 1 more time into Odie's face. Odie has to get a bit of space though, and Lida is going low. The tongue lash, the kill is there. Illumina have found everything they needed. 41 minutes on the clock, and they get their first win of the European Masters group stage.
Whew. Slow, methodical wins the race for Illumina, the redemption that the Ultra Liga has been looking for the entire day. They went 0-2 for the rest of the games, and Illumina, the 3rd seed, comes down to slap Mouse across the face. Mouse drafted an extremely hard to execute draft. Sartorius had one of the hardest times in his life trying to even play the game right there, and it was like glimpses of hope when certain players from Mousesports would come online, like Gadget would dive in, Lida would dive in, but all in all, like Illumina just had the much easier composition. Team fight is the name of the game. They drafted it. They executed it.
Yeah, absolutely. It did it. You know, for the kind of Polish third seeds, historically, European Masters has been a bit shaky for those third seeds.
Yeah.
You know, we sing the praises of the Ultraliga, who have had an absolutely incredible couple of years in the more recent European Masters. But, you know, for the third seeds, it's not been so good. And for them to finally find a win over a team like Mouse as well from the Dark region, who have, you know, historically always dominated the European Masters, a really good showing for them. And to me, it felt a little bit more like Mouse played into Illuminar's play style there.
Yeah.
Slow and steady wins the race, and that is exactly what Illuminar wanted. And honestly, really, really good showing from Illuminar. Much needed win for the region today, who unfortunately for themselves haven't been able to pick up a single win today until now. So really good for them. Anyway, it's time for us to throw to a break. I'm going to stop rambling. We'll see you after this where we break the game down a little bit more. See you in a moment. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the European Masters. We're getting ready to break down game number 5 between Illuminar and Mouse. And Mouse handed their first loss of the group stages, and Illuminar find their first win. And it just kind of felt like Mouse played a little bit into Illuminar's playstyle and their game plan, really, there.
Yeah, we knew from the start that Illumina likes to play this slow, methodical, hashtag we scale, boys chill game, the back and forth, the front to back, if you will. That the Senna, they had the Orianna, of the biggest scalers on their side of the damage. AP for Orianna, AD for Senna. They played a hard front line as well. They had the Udyr together with the Tam Kent and Na for engage or disengage. Like everything, the entire package was team fight based. And in a meta where teams have to go for dragons, they have to fight for heralds, they have to fight for barons, they have to fight for the soul. It's all about the team fights. And honestly, they did not get pressured by Mouse. Mouse, who sort of drafted to their strengths, right? The assassin onto Lida, that Pride Stalker on his Lilia, everything looked great, but then they had to swap lanes to try and get Lida scar-free out of the laning phase, since the laning phase for Akali has been nerfed. And then you saw some glimpses of hope with Lida outplaying some of these fights, but you can't rely on outplaying, unfortunately, every single one of the fights, and Illumina's comp was just simply superior.
It was honestly, you know, there were moments, and that was one of those moments where Pride Stalker had a pretty big level lead over his counterpart, but it just ultimately wasn't enough. And this kind of fight shows you exactly why this front to back is so hard to fight through. They're in the chokehold, and Odie and Chayk are just able to sit behind their team, who just soak up everything and free fire.
I mean, also, if you're gonna point some figures, I don't necessarily think that Set was a great pick right here. I'm pretty sure it was picked last for Mouse, and it is just so hard, man. How are you gonna go through an Udyr, and Na, and Orianna, and Senna, and Tam Kent? Like, it's just impossible for you to move through the fight. And you see, he did almost as much damage as the Tam Kent. As someone who builds offensively as a Set, and you see that at the end of the day, yeah, okay, you can say, oh, they did less damage than the Rakan. I'll take this, but it's just the Senna, man. 2.3k damage, and it was only gonna get worse from there.
I mean, to be fair, props to Pride Stalker, 20k on the Lilia.
Yeah.
Pretty nice stuff coming out from him. You know, there were, you know, a couple of glimmers of hope in this game. It didn't look like Mouse just completely rolled over, but going into the next games, they really needed to have a little bit of a think about what they need to change, because I think if you play passively versus a team like Illumina, you will struggle. And now we can actually see the group standings right now. We are focusing on Group C at the moment. Our next game is another Group C game, as UCAM, Illumina, and Mouse all have themselves one win. Mako looking to keep up with the rest of the group in their next game versus UCAM. Be a pretty tall ask for them. It's a pretty rough team to play against, but we've had so many upsets. I would love an upset.
So far, I'm seeing the LFL slapping people, because they have technically 2 first places if you count Misfits, where they're tied up for first place with the other 2 as well. So Carmen Corp and Misfits are the 2 LFL teams that have made it into groups, and they're doing absolutely fantastic. And if you can win here, this is the hope for the SLO. This is what we've been looking for Spain. We're like, you need to reclaim. We keep saying, you need to reclaim former glory. You need to reclaim former glory. And we keep hitting on it because it's just so important. The Spanish region is just full of fire and passion and drive that it's just not translating into the Rift, and just seeing it come to life would be great.
Yeah, and honestly, for Spain, you look at G2 Arctic 0-3 right now in their group. SupUp are looking like a vastly superior team to them. You got Cream Rail, who are, you know, in what everybody bar me is saying is the group of death. And I mean, I recognize Group D is a horrible group, but I'm still a diehard Group B guy. I think that group looks really, really scary, and SupUp have definitely shown that to be the case. But Group C,
we have to say that the BTXL group is the group of death. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't. Like, they're not playing. They haven't played yet. We have to see how they'll do when they play tomorrow.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so far it's been a pretty good running here for over in Group C, and we're going to find out exactly how close it's going to be after the break, because coming up we're going to have ourselves Matchco taking on UCAM. But before that, it's time for a break. It's time to pay the bills. Let's see some adverts. See you in a moment.